All right, we are back here in Montreal, and we are getting some really unfortunate news.
Yeah, we're getting unfortunate news from Nate Hamilton's camp that the car just not getting the temperatures down. Something strange happening with that car all weekend. And of course, you're on the road. You don't have your tuner there. You don't have all your, your ability to check it on a dyno. So he just doesn't want to risk the engine on the car.
I've been to 3 events, and I now have had 2 engines in the car. Yeah, and just learning the new engine platform and trying to figure out why the issues are happening is new for the 144 team. So obviously we're used to the LS stuff. So diving into the JZ stuff, there's signs of this and there's signs of that. And obviously I was in denial and I just didn't want to believe that the actual engine was hurt. It's cool to wreck into a wall and break something and know that Nate broke it. It's not cool to have an engine package that seemingly is not running correctly event after event after event and not be able to point at one single thing and say, this is what's wrong. That's what we really couldn't do. So when we got back to Texas and we knew we were getting a whole new engine to put into this car, we still were scratching our heads like, what? But why? I was completely out of time to rebuild a new engine or take months to send this to a machine shop and figure out what was the exact problem. So luckily, Rad Industries had a completely new engine, which cost a ridiculously new bill. And we ordered an engine, we gave it to Adrian. We said, hey man, we're deleting anything that could have been an issue with this engine. Please install a brand new 3.4 liter 2J, and we are gonna do this thing all over again. At that exact same time, I was at the BC shoot coming off of Orlando. Adam LZ was like, hey, come to our compound, drive the CRX, blah, blah, blah. And at that time, he goes, how's the GR, and do you want to use my shop? So Adam basically invited me to come to Florida to use the hub dyno, his shop, his resources. So I knew I was in the right hands working with them. The heavy lift was just picking up 144 and dropping it off at the LZ compound. Now we can introduce some of the best in our industry. We have Freddie, who operates Spec-Tune. We have Brian, who operates Heartstock. So we got a wiring guy with Heartstock. We've got a tuner with Spec-Tune. We've got Adam LZ's Complex. This is kind of a little dream situation for us. These guys have put dozens of these engines in drift cars. So I knew I was in the right hands working with them. First day we arrived, there's a ton of action, but it's actually very, very calm, right? Wiring is very calm. It's like library mode. It's like focused, numbers, lengths, crimping. So it's actually very chill. And then Freddie and Brian, they got busy on kind of all those super specific logistics, whether it be sensors, wiring, and programming. First try. Sick, dude. It's super nice to hear the 2J lit back up. Yeah, dude, stoked. So let's first start with a brand new engine, only one day after we basically get with Freddie and Brian. So how cool, man. So once we get to the good part where the wiring's done, the programming's done, lights work, car starts, I actually end up exiting this conversation as I head to a new race in motorsports that you guys will find out soon. But let's keep the story rolling into dynoing the car.
So at first I was verifying our ignition timing in the ECU to the engine. So I will lock the ECU at a number like 10 degrees of ignition, and then we shoot the gun and make sure that it has 10 degrees at the motor. And then if it does, then you go plus or minus, so you adjust your ignition timing, like ref sync is correct. You want to have a right balance between the throttle body air and the idle air valve. So if you have not enough throttle body air and you're relying on the idle air valve for your idle control, the car can try to stall and decel. So the idle valve does not work that fast in comparison to a like drive-by-wire motor. But that's a different story. So I put a little bit more screw in the throttle body, and we're focusing more on that and only using about 15% of the idle air control valve at idle. Before, is using about 80%, so it's relying more on the idle valve than the throttle body. We didn't have any issues. Actually, the only issue we had was the TPS signal was kind of fluttering around. It turns out 2 pins are backwards on it. The 5V and the sensor ground, or 5V signal, whatever. So that was the only issue. The car has 12-pound wastegate springs, and at 12 pounds of boost, it makes 565 wheel, revving out to 8,000. 19 pounds of boost, it makes 690 wheel. And then I try to go more than 19 pounds of boost, and you can tell the exhaust back pressure is getting up, because 1, the car gets quieter, and 2, the returns are diminishing. So the high boost, or spicy boost, what we called it, makes 27 pounds of boost in the mid-range, and it tapers back down to 19 up top. To kind of give Nate a big torque wall, let's say the car's really hooked up and he needs to flash the tires quicker, he can hit that, it'll make a little more boost in the mid-range, and then kind of taper back down to keep everything in check. I've done more power on this turbo, but its camshaft size is kind of small for this combination.
You know, here I am, like I'm getting text as I'm at my race. Freddie was very specific to say that the car needs heat, load, and he really wanted to make sure when this car comes back to Texas, it is like dialed in. So who better to jump into the car other than myself, which would be Sean Booth, Rev Limit Master. I got to kick this thing's ass for the first time, so enjoy this footage.
All red. You'll see red everywhere.
That would mean turn it off, turn it off.
Yeah, just turn it off or hit this kill up here.
Other than that, don't turn it off?
Other than that, do whatever you want. EC logs, just drive it around a little bit, you know, fuel the car, make sure there's anything weird. Okay. And then the fans are automatic, fuel pump's automatic, power steering's on already. And then this is the high idle. You can fuck with this if you want when you start drifting it.
There you go.
Alright. Ignition and then link button.
Put the long gear in this. I'm putting in second now, don't worry.
Yeah, beat on it a little more. Like fucking bog it down. Yeah, it's got a dog box and a winners.
Lower the tires.
They're at 11.
Go lower. They're hot now. Dude, my hurts, bro. Like, Nate, what are you doing, dude?
All right, present day, dude. Back at 144, old engine on a stand, looking to be rebuilt. New engine in the car. I just did my first session in it yesterday to like just feel this thing, and insane. Rev limiter, completely different. Boost settings, all my controls are working. Car can't get hot in the Texas heat. Shout out to Freddie, shout out to Hardstock, shout out to Adam, my whole team as well. All the partners that stuck with us through this like gap in time with the car. So next up for this thing, Grid Lifes, look out for us, come get a ride in this thing, and hopefully a little local track day soon. So hope you guys enjoyed this gnarly edit, catching you back up on the GR86. She's alive. See you at the track soon. Love you guys.
Heaven should know. One knows try to make time go by slow. Keep you by my side.